I didn't hear the bell finish for meditation, but I presume it has. Is that right?
Yes, Paul, it has.
Thank you. As I said at the beginning tonight, Bob Morley is our speaker tonight, and he comes from Eden Valley in Cumbria, which sounds like a beautiful place. I don't know if it is or not, but it sounds beautiful. And Bob, since the late 80s, has been engaged in that quest to find the meaning of his life, I guess, through his relationship with God. And he's sought that meaning in diverse ways, and through his contemplative practice. During his working life, he's been involved in different areas too. He was involved in nuclear engineering, and he's also worked with environmental management. And during those last 35 years during the time he's been searching for his relationship with God, he's also been in relationship with people who are going through tough times, befriending people and using friendship as a gift. So Bob's also a poet. He's written a book of poems called The Golden Thread, which talks in that book. He explores his relationship with God and what he knows and his encounters. And some of the poems that he will read to us tonight come from that book, and others are more recent than that book. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Bob Morley.
You're muted, Bob.
Okay. Can I be heard? Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event that you have every week. And thank you for the introduction. As you say, that yeah, my contemplative journey really, and I think I can describe it probably best by an emptying of the mind and an opening of the heart, and of course it is, and of course probably all of you will know that and experience that as well in our meditation practice. That it is an emptying, but being able to feel a oneness and a wholeness in the journey, and it is a journey of love, no other than love. I'm not very good at expressing things with words, and been very indebted, if you like, to the practice for enabling me to have this communion with God, and the words of the poems are basically given to me rather than coming from my own intellect, if you like, which I don't think is probably capable of writing such things. But anyway, so I'll share with you a few of the poems, which basically are part of the journey. And I think one of the main things is when we start our contemplative journey, is that we realize that the emptying of the mind is causes us great conflict with our own ego. So there's quite a light-hearted but serious poem which I've called Internal Dialogue. So it's a typical conversation between my being and my ego. So this is Internal Dialogue. Love, said the being. Obtain nourishment from me, the great oneness, fruit of the earth, for you are part of me. But wait, interrupted the ego. You have important things to do, or I will die. What about the injustice I reminded you about yesterday? Surely you need retribution. What about the nasty neighbour or the unjust colleague at work? Satisfy me, then you can have peace and love. Let go, said the being. This is not who I am. I breathe presence, forgiveness, and compassion. I cannot accept these ideas, said the ego. For if I do, how will I compare good and bad, just and unjust, better and worse, and strive to put things right? You will not succeed, said the being, for your very breath and food are conflict, desire, aversion, retribution, justice, and all things that divide. I know I am a tool in your hands, said the ego, but you need me to survive in the world. Look at the dominance I have in your life. I have cloaked you, being, with my masks, and there are several. I am eternal, and you are temporary, said the being. I know, said the ego, but indulge me just this once. Again. Love, said the being. Another realization of our contemplative journey is that it feels like a pilgrimage, but a very different kind of pilgrimage. Throughout history, many people have found the need to discover their true being and meaning of life through making a pilgrimage, which often entails hardship, poverty, fasting, and denial of other ways of comfortable living. Whilst not denying this valid route to self-discovery, there is a simpler, but not necessarily easier, way through the letting go in meditation to the contemplation of being at one with God. So this poem's called Pilgrimage. Unfulfilled experience of life on earth, drawn to travel the road to heaven by guilt or fear or simply repentance. The road from far and near, yearning, hoping. Walking the road less travelled, long to Santiago, short, street of Iona. Canterbury maybe, or Lourdes, Mecca, Jerusalem. Yearning, hoping. Meeting in sacred places, churches, temples, synagogues, mosques, or open spaces, deserts, or monasteries without walls. Yearning, hoping. But what is missing? The shortest and simplest journey is to our own heart. More painful may be the letting go of all the clutter of thoughts and things, yearning and hoping for no thing. Heaven, nirvana, or paradise for all pilgrims, here and now. The experience of nothing but one love. Another part of the journey is the letting go of expectations, living life in uncertainty, the poverty of spirit, the dawn of wisdom, maybe. This poem's called Life in Uncertainty. See here, a newborn child, created by love into the world, brought from timeless eternity into uncertainty. The illusion of time and space now fuels the human race, needing an identity in every place, creating uncertainty. Identity names and separates all. Conflict abounds, the need for possession, not enough for any, for all. Expanding uncertainty. Innocence lost, as is the way. Completely masked, the certainty of paradise, veiled by the mist of dominant uncertainty. Clinging to science or to religion, yearning for meaning of life. Why am I here? I want to be certain. Total uncertainty. But what is this? I have come to accept. No thing is how it is. Not what I think or feel or see, but growing certainty. Being nothing, poverty of spirit, I lose earthly identity. At one with love, my spirit reveals eternal certainty. A couple of poems now which give, if you like, an analogy of the journey. So the first one is called The Climb in Time. And it's really, I think I'd like you to imagine, if you like, a mountain before you, which we need to climb. And it's the journey, of course, to our eternal oneness with God. The journey I am making, at times aware, often not, is as a mountain I climb in time. Why? My soul is stirred and disturbed by stillness and silence. Why should I move from familiar ground of green world, surrounded by apparent riches? What is sustaining temporal existence? The natural need for food, warmth, and love, hidden by material gain on earth. But who is the I who is saying this? The path to freedom, surrounded by love, is upwards. A realization of the journey unfolding, I take with me provisions, a map given to me by Jesus of Nazareth, a backpack called religion. The latter I would soon discard as burdensome. Body and mind left behind for temporal sustenance, I continue the climb. Occasionally, I meet other souls on the journey. Some tread a different path. We acknowledge our different ways with acceptance and wonder. Others travel with me for a while, souls sustaining and encouraging. It becomes dark. It is full of unknowing, and yet becomes known and is light. Away from the noise, all is silence. There is no thing here. But where is here? It is nowhere. There is no time, just presence. Love drives me on. I seem to have entered into the mountain. There is no sky, no ground, just brilliant darkness. The laws of physics don't apply. Dimensionless illusion. Just awareness of transcendence, freedom, ineffable love of oneness, encompassing all there is. Truth, pure being. Another example of the journey, the newer ones. So I want you to imagine that you are walking along a path, the path of life, if you like, and alongside is a river alongside us. The path leads on, but we can see a bridge that crosses the river. We can't see the other side of the river. So this is crossing the bridge. The journey of life, along the path we tread. There is sunshine and rain, wind and calm, ups and downs, falls and triumphs. Often it becomes a meaningless treadmill. The way can feel lost, but ahead lies a bridge. The other side is veiled in mist, but for some, the bridge of religion is attractive, somehow helpful, being tired of going our own way, along this path. To step onto the bridge, we pass through a narrow gate. Old habits and baggage have to be left behind. But a guide is there to help us. He is full of wisdom, compassion, and love. He tells us to follow him over the bridge, despite not knowing what is on the other side. In stillness and silence, we wait as our thoughts become none and our minds are centered. Darkness descends. We see the guide no longer, but we sense he is here, leading us to fullness of life. A realization of the cost, not less than everything, questions our willingness for total commitment. Some of us become content, unwilling to go further, comforted by the promise of the guide and glimpses of truth. They recite his words of wisdom and songs of praise, but fear a total surrender, so remain on the bridge. A few remember the words of the guide and complete the crossing in darkness and unknowing into the silent lands of the other side. In wonder, they realize they have come home. Here there is no path, simply the emptiness and nothingness of space, but filled with love. There are no sense perceptions or objects. There is no past or future, just an eternal present. As part of the I am, they witness from within all the earthly comings and goings, the struggles and desires of the world, and look upon it all with compassion and love. I am is ready with an open heart to absorb all whose journey has ended by whatever path. The bridge is but a catalyst to reveal in advance the journey's end, the truth of eternal love. Another poem here talks about the emptiness and the emptiness which we encounter, which can be quite, if you like, unnerving, frightening, and I suppose John of the Cross describes it quite well as a dark night of the soul. I'm sure many of us have experienced this as part of our spiritual journey. But as John of the Cross said, in the dark night of the soul, bright flows the river of God. So this poem is called Emptiness. Contemplation, the descent into nothingness, a release of everything temporary, a knowing that all things are empty, no forms, no feelings, no thoughts or perceptions, Is emptiness the absence of love too? No. Emptiness is the heart of all perceived things. To embody emptiness is to be totally receptive to the love that is. Surrounded, penetrated, becoming at one with, our being has fathomless depth. The gift of grace allows a full emptying to take place. Aversions and attachments are no longer. Even awareness of being has gone. A silent stillness. This vacuum of emptiness is filled with pure love. It flows eternally, an outpouring which becomes veiled by the awareness of mind and body and the return of thought. This emptiness and becoming nothing leads to something what I'd call mindlessness. We often hear of people being mindful, but this is about being mindless. And I think that there is a wisdom that is given from this mindlessness, if you like, the emptiness. So, yes, this is mindless wisdom. At most times, my mind has a field day, constantly changing, usually unruly, painting pictures, creating bonds of attachment, revulsion, and fear, preoccupied, wordy, segregated, and with boundaries. It claims to be who I am, but in fact, it is my jailer. Only when I come to stillness do I realize I am the witness of this tortured body and mind, which, after all, is just a creation, an illusion of being. Senseless wisdom is dawning. Love stirs from within. The quietened mind becomes permeated with light and love, a recognition of our true nature, blissful awareness. There is nothing to know, nothing to understand, no doing or wanting either. We enter freedom. Here comes an awareness. We have always been free. It is a gift of grace from the unknowing without substance. The road of love is the journey. The goal is pure unity. Wisdom guides us on the mindless path into timeless eternity of the silent presence within. So really, just to finish, you'll have realized, and as we all know, the journey is one of love, and love is a constant theme throughout all of my poetry. So I'd just like to finish really by reading this, well, by a thankfulness, really, that at this particular moment, I am aware that we are surrounded by love at all times. And this is called Ode to Love. Awake, O love, to shine on this our perfect day. Your light expels all darkness and holds all things as one. Your source is fathomless mystery, but your ache I know so well. Oh, may I know this light within me and without. Just touch me and another, so we can burn so bright. Another and another, till all the world is full. Sister and brother, field and fern, slate and stone. I see myself in all of this. And what is sin but man's ego? Illusory self, bound to earth, divisive, cultural, political. Love knows nothing of this. But for the unknowing masses, if nowhere else, love awakes lost souls in sound sleep. In imprisoned bodies they await for the light to extinguish the night. Sadness fills the one who waits till death reveals this truth. So shine, O love, throughout, within me and without, so we will know the meaning of this, the truth, our being, knowing the end is as the beginning, one love, one God, one being, the same. Thank you, everybody. Bless you all.
Thank you, Bob. I certainly feel very blessed listening to your poems. There's a kind of I feel like I'm held in some mystery of spell almost. It feels beautiful and simple, and I didn't want it to end. That was just, had a feeling of a real gift to us all. So it's very wonderful, and I think Julie is going to explain how, if people want to get a copy of those poems, they can. I hope I'm correct in saying that, but Julie will come back to us in a second. So we'll just finish in our usual way with our closing prayer. May the divine assistance be always with us.
And with our absent brothers and sisters. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Paul, and thank you, Bob, for those beautiful poems this morning. And it really was wonderful to just sit there quietly and listen and be transported. So thank you. Bob has very kindly said that he is very happy to send out copies of the poems that he's read this morning. So if you would like a copy, I will be putting Bob's email address on the YouTube recordings that I send out to the oblates. But if you don't get those and you would like some, please get in touch with me and I'll be very happy to send the email address out to you. So I know I, for one, will be asking you, Bob, so thank you very much indeed.
Very well.
And now it's time to look forward to next week, and we have Mary Meyer with us next week. Mary is a meditator and an oblate from Paraguay, and she has a special interest in meditating with children. So I think she will be sharing on that for us next week. So again, something very wonderful for us to look forward to. So all that remains now is for me to wish you all a very good week, and look forward to, thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. So God bless.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye.